And we're live! Woo! Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Utopia live show for Curse of the Sphinx by Raye Wagner. Warning, there will be spoilers in this video, and the author is kindly going to be joining us in a few minutes.
Like 20 minutes.
Yeah, in 20
like 25 minutes.
After we discuss the book, and we're going to do an author Q&A. So if you have any questions for her or for us to answer before she comes in, please use the Utopia hashtag on Twitter.
And good news, Sasha's home, so that means her Wi-Fi
probably won't cut out.
Much better.
Yes! So happy. Like, in the background nicer.
Lols.
I know, literally my Wi-Fi hates me wherever I go, but hopefully it'll be better now. Okay, so do you want me to start, or do you want you to start on your thoughts?
How about you go first, Sasha?
Okay, I was gonna have the book with me, but it's currently in that bag or that red bag, so I don't know which one. So we're gonna
for you.
Oh, thank you. There we go. So my thoughts on the book. I really like this book. I thought it was a really fun, fast read. It definitely had, I remember Reagan usually reads a book before I do. So I was like, hey, how is the book going? And she's like, it definitely feels like a Jennifer L. Armentrout book, she's one of my favorite authors. So like when I went into it, I had high expectations and they were met. And I really just enjoyed this book. It was a really fun read. It's usually difficult for me to jump into Greek mythology, but obviously Raye has a great understanding for it, and the way she described it in this world was really well done, and I didn't find myself questioning like some of the things that happened in it, because it seemed very well researched and very interesting, especially the aspect of the Sphinx.
Yeah,
I knew what a Sphinx was, but like I didn't know completely what it was. It was kind of weird. Yeah, so I did enjoy this book, and like the romance was really nicely paced, because I was kind of worried it would be pretty rushed, but it like didn't happen until like the end, and I really enjoyed that because we got to know the character and more, and then yeah, so I enjoyed it. How about you, Reagan?
I totally agree. And when I said it was like a Jennifer L. Armentrout book, I meant in the fact that it's just like one of those books you fall into, you know? Really addicting, and you're just like, all of a sudden you read the whole thing in one sitting. That's why I read it so fast. I was like, oh, I'll start this, and I literally read the whole thing in like 3 days, and that was with school, so like it read so quickly. I really liked the Greek mythology element as well. I liked it because I felt like it was a unique twist on the Greek mythology that we usually see in books. The whole Sphinx, I've only really encountered in that one story, that one play about the guy who goes blind. You remember who am I talking about? Oedipus, the Oedipus tale, right?
Oh yeah.
He goes blind, the oracle. At the beginning of his story, he answers a Sphinx riddle. I'm like pretty sure. And so like that's the only time I've ever encountered the Sphinx in like Greek tales. So it was really cool to see that played out in a YA novel. The other thing I thought was super cool was this intersection of Greek mythology with our real life. I kind of liked that everyone knew about it, but it wasn't that it was super present and like everyone had like a godly neighbor. It was more the reality of their life. But so it just kind of like, it was an interesting twist.
It was kind of like our reality, like replace like take Christianity for example. Like a lot of people believe in God, and that was kind of like how it was in this book. Like a lot of people believed in the Greek gods, and it was like a normal thing. It's kind of just replace our God with the Greek gods, and that's what it was. Yeah,
and it was cool too because a lot of times when we read books about someone who has a secret destiny or whatever, they live in a world where everyone is kind of not ignorant, but they just don't know because they're just not privy to the secret knowledge that the main character or whatever thinks she's going through. But I thought it was really cool that like everyone knew about gods and demigods, and that kind of added an interesting tale. I also really liked Hope. What are your thoughts on Hope?
Yeah, Hope, I thought okay, so like one of the things that I take super seriously in books is parents' deaths, because like I have lots of like experience with that subject. And especially when it's a mother's death. So like honestly, right off the bat, when I knew that her mother was gonna pass away, I instantly looked at her character, because I'm like, if she handles this well, I'm gonna instantly like her. But if she does not handle the death of her mother well, like if she just like kind of brushes it off to the side, I'm not gonna like her. first, I thought that she wasn't handling it very well because I'm like, this doesn't seem very realistic. So I started off with hoping like, okay, I don't believe her that she's sad. But then later on, you see the repercussions of the loss of her mother and how it really hits her. So I did end up liking her. But at the beginning, it kind of was like a love-hate relationship at the very beginning. But as I went on and read it, I was like, you know what? I do believe her. I do believe that everybody grieves in a different way. And I feel like it was pretty realistic for a fictional book. So like I did appreciate her character. And I think that she was like 16 and she lives by herself. Like, oh my gosh, I know that she was like she was allowed to do that, but if I was 16 and had to live by myself, like I couldn't.
I know, I like, that's one thing but I also do that for all books I read. I want to get your opinion on that too. Every book I read, the character is just my age. Like, yeah, they're 16 in high school, but they're actually 21 in college.
No, like, yeah, like I changed the age in my head. Yeah, no, totally.
Well, I think it's because like I don't want to be attracted to a fictional character that's underage. So they become my age. Like, I don't want to be creepy.
I know, no, that's totally fine because like it's so true because like in the world of fictional characters and especially young adult because we read a lot of that, the characters are rarely, let's say 19 is like almost
borderline new adult.
Yeah, that's borderline new adult, but like some young adult novels have 19-year-old characters. I'm like, okay, I like that because that's like my age. But like when it's 16 is like pushing it, and I wish it wasn't like that because I know. Like even like when there's a 15-year-old character, I don't want to read the book because I feel like not because it's bad or anything, just because I'm like, I know this is a fictional, but her life, she's been like doing so much more stuff than I have, and like,
I know. Like you feel bad about yourself. You're like, how are you handling this at 16? Like I was just happy that I got out of bed and went to school at 16, and you're worried about like making perfect grades, Hope, and then also not dying.
Yeah,
how are you doing this?
Yeah, like when. I think that her being like a really good student does show like a lot of her character. But like when I learned that she couldn't make friends and her like friends like that one friend she made at the beginning, I forget her name, but like she's like, no, I can't talk to you, like you're awful, you're a disgusting monster. I'm like, well, that's why she can't make friends. He's at the beginning. I'm like, why can't she make friends?
So that was one conflict in the book that I actually really appreciated. So like this struggle she had internally, and I thought it made a lot of sense. So like her whole life she's been moving from town to town because her mother, it was bred into her that she can't make relationships, it's too dangerous. But then when she's suddenly left alone, she's faced with this thing of like, does she just want to run for the rest of her life and really be entirely alone? Or will she actually let herself settle down and make some roots? And it's dangerous to do that, but it's also very human. Like, why wouldn't she want to do that? Like, that's something we take for granted, I guess, as a non-cursed Sphinx individual.
Right. No, that's so true. And like one of the things I appreciated about like the storyline was the minor characters. Even the minor characters had some significance. Like for example, the butcher.
I loved him.
I loved him. Like he was a minor character. And like so one thing that I learned in creative writing class when we workshop is that like some characters just don't belong. You should just take them out. And like with him, like I'm like he could have been a character that you could have taken out. But honestly, I loved their relationship. It was so natural and just like honestly, I make conversation with strangers and I like making friends with strangers in random places. Not in like a creepy way, just because it's nice talking to them, especially if you like sleep in that place.
Yeah, but I also think he's gonna play a bigger part in the book. Find out that it's her good friend's dad, and then he's like, stay away from those boys, and they're clearly like Apollo's sons, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, when that happened, I'm like, oh.
Yeah, that's one thing. Like with the plot and stuff, I want to. What is this? Why does Apollo want her so bad? Like I'm like curious. Like I want to know why. Because I felt like this book was definitely very much like a setup kind of book.
Yeah,
like, like because she kind of got to see Hope, feel for her character, see how much she liked meat. And
oh my, she loved. I tweeted that. I'm like, wow, she really likes meat. She always goes to like the meat counter, and like me, I'm not the biggest meat eater. So like when she comes to eating meat, I'm like, is this like normal to eat this much meat?
Yes, it is. As a girl from Texas, I was so jealous that she could go up to the meat counter. I was like, oh, if I could have pot roast every day, I totally would.
And she could cook, and I'm like, oh, that's another thing. When like 16-year-olds can cook in books, and then there's me. I'm like, I'm just learning how to cook now because I learned that college food sucks.
Yeah, welcome. Yeah, I learned how to cook.
Yeah.
Couple years. I made a really delicious lunch today.
Really? Oh, I had eggs twice today. Like I went out to lunch with a friend and then like I was like, oh, these eggs look good. I'm like, I don't care if I had eggs earlier than today, but like just all the meat. She just was a really good cook. I just liked Hope's character, especially as it progressed. I also liked how she wasn't a badass.
Yeah, no, I like that she So there was one scene that's when I decided I really liked the direction of this book. So when she was donating that stuff to Goodwill or whatever, when she was cleaning out, like starting to move on or whatever, and she like went and she like felt the presence of people like in the alleyway, I was like, oh my God, if Athen comes out right now and saves her, like I'm gonna be really annoyed. But now she used her like jujitsu skills and like saved herself. Like I appreciated that scene.
Oh, I have a question. So for you, okay, I thought Athen always knew that she was a Sphinx. I didn't know that he didn't know about it.
I
was shocked.
The whole time he thought she was a demigod. The whole time I thought he was like new, but
yeah. I was like kind of shocked because I thought that he was just like being like, because then why would he stay at the school for so long? I mean, it was good because then he learned that the Sphinx isn't bad, but like I was totally misled. I'm not sure if Raye meant to do that or it just happened that way, but either way I was surprised, and it was not a bad surprise, it was a good surprise. So I'm like, wow, I did not expect that. It was just very like, were we supposed to know that he didn't know, or were we supposed to be led this other way? That's a question I want to ask her.
Yeah, for sure. I'm telling people to ask questions via hashtag.
Yeah. So one of the things like I want to cover is just like the Greek mythology factor, because I just want to stress how well it's done in this book, because I've read a few Greek mythology books. I'm not the biggest fan of reading just a bunch of them at once. Like I'm a mostly fantasy reader, but like then again, Greek mythology is fantasy in a sense. So it's mythology, but like sometimes in books it can be considered fantasy. And so I don't read it that much, but I really appreciated just the whole entire setup of this book.
Yeah,
it was in the Sphinx, how she wasn't like a pretty like mermaid or something. Yeah. I'm like, yes.
Turns into the actual thing. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I'm like, thank you. And like how like it wasn't like sugar coated, and I love that. I really like when I went into this book, I was kind of hesitant because I'm like, I didn't not have high expectations, but like I was just like going in, I'm like, okay, I hope that she isn't like a special fairy, a special like what do you call those like characters that are just like, they're so special, like I'm so cool, I'm so unique. And I didn't get that vibe from this book, but I was kind of worried because I knew that she was like the Sphinx. But like I said before, I did not know about a Sphinx that much. I knew that they were like those animals that are on like the Egyptian pyramids or something sometimes, but I didn't know like too much about it. So I was like, she better not be like this gorgeous like
no, it's cool. I also really liked oh gosh, I totally forgot what I was about to say.
Story of my life. Whenever I want to say story of my life, I start singing that song.
Oh, I also liked how she's always known she's had this thing going on, and it wasn't just like it was bestowed upon her. Like obviously she inherited from her mother, but she was aware of like what was gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like she was aware of some part.
Yeah.
She doesn't know totally about the curse or like what's going on, but I appreciate that she's already trained, because there's something in books, like I get that there's like cool to have a training montage, but like I don't believe a girl or a boy who just has yeah. Oh, Millie, what do you got? What do you do? It's her bone. It's fine.
Oh, it's her bone. I don't know what that is. Looks like a pen. No, like there's a lot of space in the book. It does.
Well, no, and I appreciate, because it's not really realistic that someone can all of a sudden master like crazy fighting techniques in like 4 months. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like she's been training jujitsu her whole life, and so therefore she's good at fighting. You know, so that makes sense.
And like I had a really good point. What was I going to touch on? Oh my god. Oh yeah. So like this is like my workshopping Sasha coming out, because like literally I like workshop once a week for like 3 people. So I'm like really getting into this stuff. But like one thing that I think that could have been condensed a little bit to get into the actual plot line a little bit more was the beginning. I did like understanding her mom, but I feel like just the lead up to that, like lead up to her death, was a very dragged out. And like I mean I did enjoy that, but like I feel like it could have been condensed a little bit, because some points in this novel, it wasn't a slow book, it was fast, but like at points I was just like wasn't as interested in it as I was at other points.
Yeah, I think that was there because like her mom had to get married, and that was like because she got married.
Oh yeah, her mom did get married. Yeah.
So like I guess it was there because it needed to show that she like the show the progression of falling in love, and then she fell in love, and then the curse, and then how it ruined everything.
Oh yeah, the curse. So I mean I feel like I missed out on that whole entire like thing, because throughout the course of the story, I just, when I said like the curse, I'm like, wait, what's the
I don't think we totally know. I think that's
okay. So am I just like I was worried I was missing something big, because
I think they reference it to like Apollo cursed her, so like when she gets married, something happens. But then in the big last part of the book, Apollo's sons are now hunting for her. Like, clearly it's very much tied to Apollo and something that happened with like her ancestors and things. And it seems like it's like a slow reveal because she also doesn't really know about it. So like the more she finds out, I think we find out.
Yeah.
At least that's kind of the impression I'm getting. Because I feel like it's going to be I think that's like that's going to be this,
Yeah. Reagan, check your phone. I want to confirm with this about the book for next month really quickly. I didn't know how to wait. Like, I'm like, just in case.
I literally posted it in a video 2 days ago. So yeah, let's hope. Yeah.
Okay, it's good. Okay, I just want to confirm. We have a really exciting book for next month. We're gonna talk about that later on. So we're gonna have you dwell for that. Honestly, like, I just really enjoyed this book. It was just an enjoyable read. I don't think it took me that long to read. Yeah, like, and honestly, like, Raye, she's a self-published author, and usually when I read self-published author books, like, I don't get a vibe that it's self-published, but like when I read her book, I'm like, this is worthy of publishing without a doubt.
Well, I think it was less like, I think I talked to Raye about this. I think it was just she wanted to take the self-published route, just like Jennifer L. Armentrout is.
Yeah, Jennifer's self-published a ton of her books.
Yeah. It's just, I think it's just you have more control and like things like that. So I think she just decided to take this route. And I think a book like this shows that just because something's self-published doesn't mean it's in a lesser tier. Work.
Yeah, because if you're self-published, you get more say in your novel and more say in how you want it constructed and like
how you want to market it, like a whole bunch of stuff. So I think it's really, really neat.
I thought it was really just like an amazing thing, and I think that like we should do self-published novels just now and then in this like book club because it's like self-published, published. They're all novels, they're all literature, and we all love literature. So I'm like, yeah. Do we want to answer some questions on Twitter? Do we have any?
I don't know if we have any.
I mean, we tweeted out really late, guys. I apologize.
Oh, wait, I have 4 notifications. No. Guys, there's like over 100 of you watching. Do you not have any questions, pressing life questions for us?
Ask us about Greek mythology and our thoughts
on anything.
Ask us anything you want. It's at the book for next month. We'll tell you that later.
At the end. I'm trying to even find our tweet. It's like not on my page because I think I replied to myself, which made it like not.
Oh.
Which like made it not go out. I'm like, you'd think I'd like be better at Twitter at this point in my life.
I'm trying to think of like some things that like I haven't covered about this book. Let's talk about Can we talk about Ethan and how much I love his name. I love his name.
Yeah, I was like, I wonder where that came from. Like, that's one of my questions I actually have for the authors. I want to know how she thought of that name.
Yeah, it was like, I just really enjoyed it. Like, sometimes names in books can be like, okay, that's obviously like, yeah, it's like when I was discussing with my co-author for this book I'm writing right now about what our main guy character's name is going to be, I was like, this is really hard. You should find a name that's believable but also fits the scene. And like one of my jokes was like, I'm going to name him Altoy because
I saw you tweet about that.
He's like, Sasha, what? And so we found a name, but like it's finding the right name, and I feel like he embodies his name and embodies his character.
Yeah, I like both of their names. I like all the names in this book actually.
Ooh, okay. Here's a question.
Yeah, I was just type. We have one.
We have one. So this is from Hungarian, I think her name. So she said, would this book make a good film adaptation? What do you think? Also, Sasha, I come from Scotland. Oh my God, hey girl.
I actually think they'd make a better TV show.
I think it'll make a really good TV show. Like, I think that, okay, ever since watching the Shannara Chronicles on MTV, I think MTV could take this type of book and make it into a kick-ass show.
Like a Teen Wolf. Like, I feel like this could be like another, like, it's in high school, it has some supernatural paranormal elements, and like Teen Wolf is, obviously they're not anything alike, but I'm talking about purely in like logistics of it. I just feel like it'd be possible for them. And then the fact that they're doing the Shannara Chronicles, which is much higher production, like I think MTV is like the new CW right now. I know, like honestly, MTV, I think that Shadowhunters, for example, should be on MTV because of, like, they're just really good at CGI, okay? And also is a hot mess. I watched one episode.
You know, it's getting better. The 8th episode really kicked ass, but if you want to know more about the 8th episode, I have a live show later on tonight. I have so many live shows, like, ridiculous. Like, so it's on Christine's channel. But besides the point, I just remembered something I want to talk about. So the Skia, who were, like, I thought that was so cool. Like, have you read Jennifer L. Armentrout's books at Obsidian?
I've read the first 2.
Yeah, so, like, the Arum, that are, like, the opposite of the Witches. So that kind of reminded me of that. Not really, but, like, I'm like, I love how they're, like, described. I love how they're, like, have a sullen face. And I love those types of creatures that are not, like, the main bad guys, because the main bad guys, like,
they're just, like, the minions, you know?
Yeah, they're kind of like the minions. Yeah, like, and so I love that.
Good minions. And I liked the story, like the mythology behind it. Because I'm pretty sure she made that. I don't think that's a real mythology. I'm pretty sure she constructed that in her brain. And I like the idea that, oh my god, my dog is being so needy. I liked the idea that Hades, or whatever, wanted his own, like, children, I guess, to do his bidding. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I want to know more about Hades. I want to know he's going to be in the next book, or, like, because we know Apollo's, like, the main guy in this, but, like, Hades also has a role.
I know. And then, like, what's up with Achilles? Like, why does he care? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I kind of forgot about Achilles for a second.
I spent so much time the other day trying to face swap with my dog, and it didn't work.
Oh my gosh, I tried to do that too with my dogs. And my dad, it didn't work.
You could face swap with, like, anything, apparently, except dogs. I'm like, rude.
Sad.
Rude.
I know. I wish my dogs would join me, but then again, my door's closed, so that's probably why.
All right. Oh. Who is your favorite Greek god? Also, come to Ireland. Wow. If you insist.
Okay, we'll be there tomorrow, guys.
Pretty. I like a couple. I mean, obviously, like, my, like the one that immediately comes to mind is going to be Athena.
Athena, yes.
Goddess of strategy. I just like that vibe in my life, you know?
I mean, like, I love Apollo, but, like, I feel like I like him because of all, like, Jennifer L. Armentrout's books.
Oh, yeah.
And then,
not so much, and he's a jerk in these.
I know, he's like a jerk in these, but I just like Apollo, like, sun god, right? The sun god.
Uh-huh. Well,
like, yeah?
Well, on the same token, because of Percy Jackson, I really like Artemis, too, because she's just cool. Yeah.
I'm reading Percy Jackson soon.
What?
I'm reading Percy Jackson soon.
Good.
We know something. So what else? I'm trying to think of this, like, little points. I read this book, like, usually we have our live show at the last week of the month. We change it for this one. So, like, I feel like I read it like 2 weeks ago, but I feel like I've read so many things since that is kind of like, wait.
Oh, you know what scene I really liked?
What?
Okay, so remember when it was near the end when Athen and Hope were, like, together, and then Athen was, like, being all controlling and obnoxious and, like, went in the hallway, and he was like, blah, 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 and she was like, whatever, bye, I'm leaving, like, and he's like, oh, I didn't mean it. She's like, you literally said I'm breaking up with you. How else was I supposed to take that? Yeah.
I love Hope. She's so realistic. Even though she's, like,
I really liked her. I thought she was, like, cool and dynamic.
Yeah, sometimes I wish I could, like, let's say I was in that position and, like, the guy was like that, I would probably be like, whatever, dude. But, like, I wish I could have, like, that spunk and be like, whatever, bye.
I really liked her. I thought she was sassy. And I liked how cold, like, her comebacks to people and, like, how cold, like, I don't know. I just thought she was really funny.
Yeah, I thought she was just a well-rounded character, and I've read multiple, like, characters that I really enjoyed, but I just really enjoyed her because she was realistic, and, like, I instantly could have not liked her if she didn't handle her mom's death well. Yeah. But honestly, like, usually if an author, like, writes about a parent's death, it's because they experienced it and they did it well. It makes me question either, like, Raye's an amazing writer or she has experienced that. And, like, she is an amazing writer, but, like, just in general, like, I think that the emotions were so just great. So I want to ask her about that too. Like, how does she get them so accurate? Like, especially with, like, the sense of, like, wanting to lock herself in a room. Yeah. For a long time.
We have another question. If this book was turned into a movie, who would you play the main characters? So for me, I don't know about Hope, but, like, Athen, I want it to be, oh my god, I can't think of his name. Maze Runner guy.
Ooh, Dylan O'Brien.
I think, well, because Athen's kind of funny, And I feel like I feel like he'd be a good, like, realistic, because he is technically 16. And, like, we forget that when we, you know, make, like, 32-year-olds play 16-year-olds in movies. But I think Dylan O'Brien would do a funny job. I think he'd be a good Athen.
Yeah, like, I think that, yeah, he would be good. Right now, literally Athen and, Hope are, like, have the same hair color as, both have the same hair colors as the characters in The Dark Artifices right now and Lady Midnight. So, like, I'm picturing them right now as I picture those characters, which is kind of weird because they don't necessarily have the same hair color. But, like, if I don't know who I'd cast because, honestly, no joke, every single blonde female main character I picture as Daenerys Targaryen because I don't like, because other blondes that I like picture, like, I don't know why, but I instantly think like the bleach blonde hair, and I know that's not true. It's just like I think about that because I've been surrounded by like my friends who some of them have bleach blonde hair. I'm like, yeah, but like this one's natural and it's a certain shade. So I'm like, Daenerys, yeah, why not? And I love her hair, so it works out.
I'm really weird when it comes to picturing characters in books in the way that I don't really like none of the characters, like when I read books, none of the characters have like distinct features. Like, yes, I have an idea of what they look like, but it's like kind of muddy. So it always weirds me out when I see castings of movies because I'm like, I don't know. Like I can't visualize people as like the actual characters. But I honestly feel like Dylan O'Brien, maybe because I just really like Dylan O'Brien, would be really good.
I love Dylan O'Brien. I mean, like, with like casting, like, it's really difficult, but like honestly, sometimes I find it easier to pick like somebody, go on Pinterest and search like character boards and just like look up those because I feel like that's, or just like artist renditions of these characters. So like I feel like that's really nice to have that too.
For sure. Should we bring Raye on here?
Yeah, let's bring Raye on and ask some questions. Wait, I wish I wrote mine down. So the ones I just have like right away.
Be like, it's your cue, girl. It's your cue. I have my questions.
Yeah, well, while we're waiting, I'm getting a new bookshelf tomorrow.
Another one?
I brought home 100 books from college.
There's no room. You need to clean out your life, Sasha.
I know, I did. And like it's 60 pounds worth of my life.
You have so many arcs. That's the thing. I don't know what you do with those.
I'm a book hoarder. I don't like getting rid of any of my books.
I donate all my arcs, pretty much.
I know, but I haven't read a lot of my arcs, and like I'm like, you never know if you might want to read. I'm a book hoarder. No joke.
You are a book hoarder. You're a book hoarder, girl.
I know. And this is not going to help out because I'm trying to sell my house now. So it's not like not like I can build new bookshelves, but it's okay because I have these new ones. So I'm going to IKEA tomorrow and getting half a shelf to put right there.
Right there. Yeah, it's a good idea. Your room is so cute though. I always see it on Instagram. Like I love the windows you have.
Yeah, those would. Oh, Raye's here.
Hey, Raye.
Hey guys.
Hi, Raye.
So yeah, if you have any questions about physically, just go ahead and use the same hashtag as we've been using throughout the live show. We're gonna go ahead and ask her our questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, do you want to start? Do you want me?
Oh, I'll start so you can. Okay. So my question for you is: were you always interested in Greek mythology, or did you have did something kind of just inspire you one day and you decided to delve into the research before writing the book, or kind of what is your feelings on Greek mythology?
Okay, so I actually had no interest in Greek mythology at all until I was in college. I know, right? And a friend of mine in college asked me if I knew anything about the Sphinx, and he was an artist, and he said, "Oh, I think you look like the Sphinx." And the only Sphinx that I knew was the statue in Egypt, the huge pyramid statue. And so I was actually a little insulted because I was like, "Does that mean like break my nose off, or what are you talking about?" And then he told me the story of the Greek Sphinx and Oedipus, and so that was it. That was my only exposure to Greek mythology. And then I read the Percy Jackson series, and in Battle of the Labyrinth,
yeah, I know.
Okay. So the Sphinx was a game show hostess, and I was like, I was insulted. I felt like it was a personal affront to me. Like I have anything to do with it. And I sat on it for probably 3 days. Yeah. And just thought that just can't be. That just can't be. And the story came to me like all in one fell swoop.
Awesome.
Yes, except then I had a lot of research to do because I knew nothing.
Back it up. Yeah.
Nothing at all. Yes.
That's cool. So you're kind of giving a new voice to kind of like a character that's never really given her own story. This kind of, even in like her own mythology and out of the well-known mythology, she's always like just kind of one of those side characters. So it's cool that she's kind of giving a spotlight in this, if you will.
Yeah, really the picture that my friend ended up painting is she's sitting on top of a cliff overlooking Thebes, and she has the bones of all the men that she's strangled laying at her feet, nice and gruesome. And I just thought, oh, the story it's such a sad story, and I think really, and I've written some backstory on her that hopefully at some point I'll get it finished, but that's really what it started with, was instead of having it be a creature that was created by two titans, she was cursed.
Yeah,
she was cursed because she refused Apollo. Yeah,
I like it. Sasha, what about you?
So one of my questions is, because her mom died early on in the novels, and like my own mother died a few years ago. So like I wanted to know like how you came up with those emotions, because emotions were so true to the actual emotions that somebody feels when a parent dies. And so like I think that you handle it very well, and sometimes like authors don't handle it well and kind of brush it off. So I'm like, okay, like how did she get such good emotion? Did she experience this, or is she just like came up with it and it was just so accurate?
Yeah. So my background is actually in healthcare. I'm a nurse practitioner, and so I spent years in psychology. And so I did a lot of work with psychiatric patients and with clinical depression, and so that's really where my background is. Both of my parents, luckily, are still alive, so I haven't had that experience. But when I was writing, I really, really wanted that to be true. That's one of those cliches that really bothers me when I'm reading YA literature. I feel like you can't brush off big events. So yeah, it was gleaning experience from people that I was close to, patients that I was close to, and then the research that I've done.
Yeah, that was really, I like applaud you for how well you did it, because sometimes like people, even if you don't experience a death like that in your real life, like just like if a death or something just like is blown over like really quickly, doesn't even get mentioned really, it's like it just discredits the book in a sense. And like the way you did it, which is so good, and like I was really happy about that. Like I was telling my roommate, I'm like, okay, I hope that Hope reacts in a way that she should, and I'm like, I'm really happy she did. So you did a great job. That.
Yeah, I think your psychology background just helped with the characters in general, because they felt really fleshed out. Like they didn't feel like caricatures, or like they made realistic human errors and human decisions, which I just found I appreciate as well, because like there's like YA ridiculous decisions that don't make sense, and then there's like actual human decisions that make sense. So like I can see how that it just felt much more realistic in this book for sure.
Thank you.
Of course.
What? Yeah. Okay. I want to ask a question about the curse. And wait, did you have a question after this, Reagan?
Oh yeah, I do.
Okay, was it about the curse?
No. Okay.
So you do yours and I'll do mine.
Okay. I was gonna ask you where you got your inspiration for your name, specifically like Athens, just because I've never heard that name before.
So, I spent a lot of time looking at Greek names and meanings because I wanted the meaning of their names to be true to who they were as a character. So, Athen is how I pronounced it. So Athen means immortal and eternal.
Okay.
So that's where his name came from.
That's cool. I like that. And then Hope, Hope.
Right. Right.
Awesome. So like my question is like with the curse, like actually no, I have an actual question. Wait, curse comes later. I really want to ask this. So did you intend for us to know that Athen didn't know that Hope was the Sphinx, or did you want us to think that he did know?
So at the very beginning, in the prologue, when he's there with his father and Hope's mother is killed, that whole experience, I would assume, would be very, very shocking.
Yeah.
So I don't see him as being super perceptive as far as what Leto looked like. So when he comes across Hope, he has lots of suspicions about her, but he doesn't know that that's who it is.
Yeah.
He knows that there's something distinctly different about her, but not to what extent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like done. I just like that was one of the shocking things. I love being shocked in books, and that definitely shocked me. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I just really like how you did that.
Yeah, because I was like, does he know? I was like, is he just playing it really well? Like, and then he didn't, and I was like, oh dang. We actually have a question from Twitter, and Megan wants to know: is there any other type of mythology you'd consider writing about?
Oh, so my favorite right now to read is Norse mythology.
Oh,
which is everywhere. Yes.
I know. The show Vikings. Am I right?
So, at this point, I need to finish this, and then I will look at where I'm at and what I'm inspired to write. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, Norse mythology is cool. Loki. It is everywhere. It's like the new trend. Like it was Greek mythology and now Norse mythology. I wonder if we're gonna run out soon and we're gonna have like some really random obscure ones pop up. Be like. Or something. I don't know.
I read a really good book I read a really good book that had Native American mythology in it.
Oh.
And I thought, oh, that's kind of fun. Yeah.
Yeah, that
would be different.
That would be neat. Yeah. I wish someone would touch on Japanese mythology more, but that's just because I'm also a history major. Japanese mythology is really interesting. I personally find. And I don't see it in like YA at all, and it's cool. It's very weird, but well, I shouldn't say weird, but it's very different, and it can be it's very interesting. I really like it. But that's a story for another day.
So with the curse, do you want us to, like, were you aiming for it to be really well known and us to, like, know about it, or are you going to, like, allude to it even more in the second book?
So there's a prequel novella, and it really talks about the origin of it's called Origin of the Sphinx, and so it goes through the origin of how the curse came to be and what all of that is in detail. But I don't want it to have to be necessary reading. So you do get some of it sprinkled in as you progress through the series.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. I'm going to have to read that because I'm so curious about it.
I'm like, what's up with Apollo? Like, he seems like he just needs to get over some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, he needs some therapy.
He feels grudges like someone I've ever known before.
But I think that's true of most of the Greek gods. When like one of the questions for the read along that we did was, do you know any myths that end happy for the humans? And no, not really.
Like, I mean, especially I remember reading about like Hera and stuff. Like the amount of people she's just turned into animals because she's just mad. I'm like, all right. Like, let's cool it.
Like really a group of immortals that have everything and yet are extremely unhappy.
Yeah, they're extremely fickle and very, like, they throw tantrums. They're very childlike for someone who's supposed to have all this power. And it's an interesting dynamic gods have. My mouse is like not working now.
My mouse isn't working either, but that's because my laptop is hating me right now. And I don't want to get it fixed because it takes 3 to 5 days. Besides the point, I just thought I would point that out. Is there any other questions? I feel like I had another one, but I cannot remember what it was.
I'm trying to find my thing. So I wrote them down, and now, oh, here we go. Oh, yeah. What's your writing process like? Like, do you like to kind of shut yourself away? Do you like to write in public spaces?
Yeah, so when I wrote Curse of the Sphinx, I had no process. My boys at the time were 2 and 4.
Oh my God.
And so we would literally, I would tote them from, or I guess they were 3 and 5, I take it back. They were 3 and 5 because we would go to Taekwondo and I would write while they were in class, or they would go to, a music lesson and I would write, or they'd go for naps and I would write, or stay up late or whatever it was. Like I wrote whenever I got a free moment. And now that they're a little bit older in school, I get the opportunity to write during the day as well as at night. So I don't necessarily, I know a lot of authors are very, very diligent in, setting aside time. I'm not that disciplined.
I mean,
someday I hope to be that disciplined.
I mean, you sound like you're kind of busy. You're like, I'm not that diligent. I was just writing, while sitting in a Taekwondo class with my young children. Yeah, you got a lot of handles. But
so,
pick apart. Do you make like any sort of like inspiration boards for like character descriptions or like anything like that? Do you do any like I know some people do Pinterest. Some people are into that for making like storyboarding or whatever.
No, I don't. I wish I did. But again, it's one of those things that it's a matter of time, and time is my most precious commodity.
Right.
And so if I can spend my time either doing a Pinterest board or writing, I'm gonna write.
Right.
And that's where I'm at right now. Yeah.
Totally makes sense. For sure. Let's go back over to Twitter to see if anyone has any last-minute questions. Oh, Lauren asked, how long did it take from just an idea to having the book on your shelf? So kind of how long did the whole first book take you to put together?
A really long time.
Mm-hmm.
So from the time I started writing on literally a legal notepad. I mean, I grabbed a little notepad from my husband's stash to the time I published was probably 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was probably 7 drafts.
Okay.
I was really, and so I would tell anybody that wants to write that is a skill that is acquired. Very few people, I think, can just sit down. I mean, maybe there are. I don't know them. But then getting good critique partners and getting good editors. With Curse of the Sphinx, I actually hired someone from HarperCollins to edit for me. And then and with Demigods and Monsters, I found another couple of editors. So that's book 2. But I think that process of making sure that you can't do it alone.
Right.
It is a team effort.
Yeah, that's really cool. Oh my god, I had a follow-up question. My brain is like, it's Friday. I'm like, I had a couple tests this week and they're over now, so I'm like relishing in the freedom of that. What is free time? And I had a follow-up question to that. But now it's gone. Fleeting.
If you're like me, it'll come to you at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'll sit up in bed and be like, oh.
I'll be like, this is the question I wanted to ask you earlier.
Yeah. We'll tweet it out.
Well, I think that's all of our questions. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah,
thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. It was really fun. We really liked it, obviously. We've been talking about it for 45 minutes because we really like it. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, and I will talk to you later.
Yeah.
Bye, Reagan. Bye. Bye, Sasha.
Bye. Awesome. So now that we're at the end of the live show, it's time to do what's the next book of the month. And I'm going to go grab it for us. And it's really exciting because I know a lot of you guys will be reading it this next month. That's a hint.
I don't have it yet because I'm not Sasha and Lucky Special. The special person she is and got it early.
Oh, wait. Wait. I'm going to go grab it. I can't reach it. Okay, guys, so the March book of the month is 50 Shades of Grey. Okay. No! I had to do it. Okay, the actual book of the month for March for the Utopia Book Club is Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare.
We were like, what are we really excited about? We're like, well, Lady Midnight's coming out. I'm like, we should just do that book because everyone's gonna be reading and wanting to talk about it, and it'll be a really fun live show, we think. So
yeah, and it's gonna be really fun because like everybody's gonna be reading it, so everybody can tune in, and it'll just be a really chill, really fun. We're gonna aim to have the live show on the 25th of March, so that'll be coming up very soon. In just a month, the day after my birthday. Woo! So I hope you guys enjoyed this live show, and I hope you guys enjoyed Curse of the Sphinx. If you want to go check it out, if you haven't already, I'm sorry if we spoiled you, but I'll be linking it down below so you can go buy it and check it out. And I'll also be linking Lady Midnight down below so you can join us starting on Tuesday when it comes out on the live, the Utopia Book Club book. So it'll be really fun. Any last thoughts, Reagan?
Nope, just excited.
Just like, you're like happy.
Just having a good time.
I just want to put like this on Reagan for a second and her dancing. It was so funny. Yeah, Reagan, go Reagan. It's your birthday. No, it isn't, but it can be. No. Okay, so thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this live show. Thank you, Reagan, for being here, even though you're always here.
My job.
It's okay. Okay, so thank you guys for joining us this month, and I'm looking forward to next month. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.